Time coming.
Right. All right. We finally get to talk about Eternals.
It's been an eternity since we've talked Marvel, literally.
Seriously, it's been a while. It's been a while since the gang got back together, whatever we're called.
Yeah.
We still have not
the gang
established
is fine.
what
We
the
can
heck
The
change
we're.
our
Nameless
name.
Three. Yeah.
Anyway, Pam, you start. What did you, since you saw it most recently? What did you think about
I just saw
Eternals?
it Saturday. I mean, okay, so I went into Black Widow thinking I hoped I liked it, and I so didn't that I gave it a really low score. But Eternals, I had no idea what to expect. Very meh. Like, I mean, I would give it a 5 or 6 out of 10. It just didn't, like, I kept waiting for something to happen that I actually really cared about, and I didn't. So, until the very end, you know, but yeah, until the very end. Yeah. Guys, your thoughts?
Go ahead, Andrew. I have so much to say.
I think me and Pam are going to end up being closer just based on the heavy sighing. But yeah, this movie, I might give it a slightly higher grade than you, Pam, just because I enjoyed viewing this more than Black Widow. I think for similar reasons, though, because I had high expectations for Black Widow. I wanted that to be in my heart to be so good. The Eternals, like, I know vaguely who they are and that they're weird cosmic space god things, but like, they're not characters I've ever read or have appeared in anything I've watched. I'm not invested in them. So what I will say about this movie is, the minute I found out as I was walking out of the theater, and I remembered that Icarus was one of the characters. And if you know the story of Icarus, he like flies too close to the sun, hence that like final scene with him. That's what this movie felt like to me. This was Marvel flying too close to the sun. They thought they had the world at their feet, and they were going to shoot for the stars. And unfortunately, they got way too close to the one just off planet, and they burned up a little bit. Do I think they're crashing to Earth dead? No, but I think this is going to hurt them. Now, there are positives from this movie that I will cite, but this is lower tier Marvel for me. This is honestly, and Pam, you may take a little victory lap. This is like on par with Thor the Dark World these days, right now. But granted, this is only after one viewing, and my opinion of Thor 2 has gone up since we've spoken. So we'll have to see. But I agree with you about the end stuff. The end stuff, I am so jazzed to talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I am too.
So I try to avoid spoilers or anything when I go into any Marvel movie. I sometimes I barely watch the trailers. The only time I watch the trailers is like when we're going to talk about them and stuff. So I didn't want to hear anything about it. All I heard was the reviews were bad. Some of the reviews were bad. Some people said this is the most awesome thing ever, and some people said this is the worst thing ever. And I came into this movie saying, well, the people that said that sucked, they're probably not, because I mean, really, these MCU movies are two things. They're MCU movies, and then they're movie movies, and that's how I judge these things. It's like Black Widow. It's like Black Widow was a good movie, and it was a okay MCU movie. So I went in expecting that it was going to be awesome. It's like, hey, I've loved even Thor Dark World. It's it's part of this whole universe, and I'm gonna love it. So okay, wow, I was so angry. Here's the first reason I was angry. You call this an MCU movie? It didn't have. Now we're on what, movie 26 or something like that, or
I stopped counting.
Something like that. So almost every MCU movie has some reference to the other things and the other characters, so you know what's going on and you know it's part of a bigger thing. Here, nothing. One tiny reference, maybe two.
Yep.
The whole thing. You would have, if you didn't tell me this was an MCU movie, I would have never even known.
Good point.
That is an excellent point.
It's absolutely ridiculous. The other reason is I am so not disgusted. I just don't care about this whole subject.
Amen.
I can get that you have a rich guy that's a genius that can make his own suit and have like superpowers. I could get that that a dude takes a super soldier serum and becomes super powered. I could understand all the origins of every MCU character. But when you're talking about giant planet-sized beings that create universes and they create robots that are super powered and immortal, you're losing me. This is way beyond any crap. And I just don't care. I don't know how this all fits in and how much they'll be involved in future things, but if this is where we're going, I'm not that crazy about it. And the third thing that I didn't like, and this, it really bugs me that someone said, well, you didn't like it because you're a white guy. Shut up.
That was the dumbest thing I've seen recently. That was so dumb.
Yeah, because I think when we ranked MCU movies, I think I made Black Panther number 3 because I'm so racist and misogynist. Such an awful racist person. Yeah. That's
why we do these things.
You fit. There was too much going on. I actually credit the director for keeping it all together. She did a great job. I credit the cast. They did as good of a job as they could do considering the material. But in a 2.5 hour movie to fit all these characters, all these plots, all this stuff, it's like you're fitting 10 pounds of something in a 5-pound bag. It was just too much.
About which we knew nothing. Yeah.
How many Eternals are there? There was 10 of them? There's too many.
There's 10 on Earth. There's 10 on Earth. There's more of them on other sentient planets, apparently, because that's where we're going in the next movie. Yeah, Joe, you hit those 2 points you hit right on the head for me. Those are my 2 biggest positives for this. The cast and the director. The director, I don't know her other work, but I know she was like catching a lot of flack because, she's going to make this too artsy, whatever. This movie looks gorgeous. Like, if you're just going to sit there and watch it on silent and not care about the plot, it is visually very, very beautiful to look at. I will wholeheartedly defend that point. And the characters, the ones that I gravitated to, when they had enough screen time to actually do things, I liked them. Kingo was hilarious. Love Kingo. He was my favorite. And then probably Fastos after that. But Icarus did nothing for me. I think they vastly underused Stina. What did she get to do? Have amnesia and fight a couple scenes? Like, that was, no. You don't bring Angelina Jolie in for that. Freaking Selma Hayek, Ajax, is in the movie for all 5 minutes. I was stoked to see Selma Hayek in a Marvel movie. Like, give me that movie. And she's dead before she comes on screen.
She's barely in it, yeah.
That was garbage. So, yes, the blame for this movie goes on the Marvel machine because they tried to cram too much universe building into this movie, and the screenwriters for not saying, hey, we need to cut some shit. So, yeah, you hit a lot of my points right on the head. I have some other ones, but go ahead, Pam. What do you think?
No, I just wanted to add that one of the things I probably disliked most. I disagree. I think some of the cast. I'm not a big Angelina fan, and I thought that character was like, what the heck? You're fighting. You're separate because you have your lovely white dress, so you look different from everybody. But you're this wimp who doesn't know anything. But that's just it. Most of these characters were wimps. Like. What they're fighting each other and they don't know what they want and they're not sure what's going on, and this one's over, and then Icarus, who's supposed to be one of the best ones, is like turns on everybody. Like, no,
he was like, basically Superman, right? Can we just agree his power set is Superman?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is basically Superman. Yeah,
but it took, like, when you get to Civil War in the other, and everything else, and they fight, I hated that. But that looks like stellar up on a pedestal fighting that made sense and you understand, compared to the fracturing of the Eternals, which I didn't care and didn't even make that much sense to me. Like, really bothered me. Really bothered me.
Well, as fighters, some of them just sucked as fighters. Like, you know.
Dude, this was their attempt at Justice League, man. You had a speedster, you had Superman, you had the guy making the gadgets. Like, this was their like, oh, Zack Snyder's cut of that was really good. Let's do a guy that can shoot laser beams and fly, and one that runs around real fast. That'll sell tickets. Those two specifically, Makari and Icarus, probably my least favorite characters in the whole movie. Makari didn't do anything. She sat on the ship the entire movie and showed up in the last 10 minutes for a fight. That was her entire arc.
Meanwhile, yeah, she was the coolest one, and it's so cool that you actually
she was cool as a character, but she didn't do anything.
Yeah.
They gave her no development.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I agree.
And there's one thing that we're gonna bring up that I think everybody was asking. Heck, it was in the trailer. And they try to explain it, and I'm so
I think
disgusted with the explanation. We'll get to it. Don't worry, we'll get to it. That just so angers me. But anyway,
I think I have the same problem. So yeah, we'll get there. We get there.
So we start with a scroll. Hey, cool. Okay, it works in Star Wars.
We're putting it in space, man. Might as well just rip off the best.
Sure. They talk about how the Celestials created all life in the universe, and the blah 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 blah. Like, okay, what's up, Andrew?
Big question. So this is one of my biggest gripes with the way Marvel's taking this whole universe. Is so now we have Celestials, and we had Kang the Conqueror, and we have all these people that are controlling massive aspects of this universe, creation, time. Like, you're getting too big for your dang britches. What is Ant-Man gonna do against that? Like, Ant-Man ain't growing planet size in this universe. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
Like, you're losing your street level guys.
That's a thing. It's like, you got planet sized things, and that now I just realized it's one of the reasons why I didn't like Guardians 2. It's like,
Ego the Living Planet was a Celestial.
Good point.
I don't really, you're just it's just too big. Yeah. I mean, it's like, when they had the Daredevil and all those things and all those series, it's like, what's Daredevil going to do against Thanos? It's like, they're gotta
use that radar sense, man.
Sense. So it's like, these some of these heroes are just not that great. So yeah,
I mean, I like Daredevil, but
I liked it. It was those things were great. It's just in the whole grand scheme of things,
you're getting too big for your britches too fast here. Like, we need to work up to the Celestials.
Hulk would kick all of their butts real quick. But anyway, so yeah, they established that the Eternals are from the planet called Olympia, which we learn is all a big lie and stuff. And they arrive in Mesopotamia because the deviants are there. They're killing people, and they kill the deviants because that's what they're sent to do. And then they hand them this pretty knife, which is supposed to represent how we help humans throughout history.
Well, they gave him the plow too. They do call out the plow. So Fastos wants to get him the steam engine way too early, and they're like, no, they ain't ready for that. So yeah, they could have cut that entire thing and just rewrite it as like, oh, the snap did something to the fabric reality. These deviants are showing up, and now the Eternals have to like jump into action. Give me that.
Could have done that.
Yeah, because it would have tied in. Yeah, and it would have tied in better, other than just mentioning it.
Yeah.
And there was the snap as a line.
There was a lot of jumping around from modern day to the past, back to modern day, to the past, It's like a lot of jumping around. So then now they're in modern times, and Cersei is
dating Jon Snow.
I know. Oh my goodness. My favorite line of the entire thing. I love you, Cersei. And you're like, oh my God, if you watch Game of Thrones, you're dying watching this.
Nope.
I can't get
never
past
watched it. Don't get that reference.
I never saw Game of Thrones.
Wait,
is Cersei the one with the white hair? Are they brother and sister or something?
No. She's not the one with the white hair. She is a brother and sister thing. Mind. Yeah.
Sorry, I only know it from the memes.
Oh, so Cersei is the
Cersei's evil.
Yeah, but she was what's her face? Who's the
Lena Headey? Not Lena Headey, or had Lena Headey. I'm not sure how you say her name.
I'm thinking
Now
of the
I'm
other
gonna
one.
get.
I'm
Don't
thinking of
at
the
me,
other,
everybody.
the
All right, we
other,
don't need
the
to
other
mash these universes
female.
Oh,
together
you're
too
thinking
much
of
'cause you know it's
Amelia
coming.
Clark.
I'm thinking of
thinking of-
Amelia Clark.
yeah,
That's who I'm
yeah.
thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
No idea who that is.
And she's in Han Solo.
yeah,
Oh.
she's.
Yeah.
Oh. I just learned this. Okay, so Cersei is played by Gemma Chan. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. What else was Gemma Chan
Oh.
in MCU?
No, I know this.
She was in Captain Marvel.
Yes.
Minerva.
Right? She was one of the bad guys. Yeah.
She was Minerva. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
That's right. I
just
remember
learned that. I just learned that she was in this. So that's really cool. So
They haven't used her right in either of these, in my opinion, but we'll get there.
so Deviant shows up in modern times, and so Cersei's hanging out with what's her name? Sprite. And she's dating Dane Whitman.
Jon Snow.
Jon
Yes.
Snow.
Can we just call him Jon Snow?
And
I know.
and he so I think at some point he says, like, it's like, are you normal or are you not? Are you? He's like, no, I'm totally normal. And then she helps fight a deviant. And
Then
like,
she turns the pups into a bunch of leaves. Like,
Yeah.
was I the only one worried about the humans that were in that bus when it crashed at however fast it was going, and it's like all its protections just turned into leaves? Like, was I the only one a little concerned about them hitting pavement at that speed?
Like,
I didn't even think of that.
I actually did think of that.
Because that comes back later, that she's never transmutated organic matter because she does it to a deviant later, and they're all like, "Oh, that's such a big deal," and I was like, "Why?" Because their power sets are so scattered and ill-defined. If you're the Celestials and Icarus is your best one, why not give them all the powers? Like, you're making these things. Give them all of the powers. So,
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
It just made no sense to me.
You're right.
So.
Give them all. Give them. There's no reason. You've created them. It's like, I mean, I saw something that said, well, why do you make one of them deaf? Why do you make one of them chubby? Why do you make them? It's like, well,
one of them a kid.
Yeah. Why is someone? And basically the explanation is, okay, so they can blend in. Okay, that makes sense, but there's no reason. You've created this. Make them all. Give them each all the powers.
I do like that in ancient Mesopotamia they already knew American Sign Language, so that was really cool.
Yeah,
I didn't think of that.
These are the little things, little story notes in this script that I'm like, a good script writer catches that crap. Like, don't have her do ASL. Have her communicate in a completely thing that maybe based off ASL, but brings in like 7 other things and has like weird gestures that we wouldn't know. Like, do that. But that was ASL. Like,
it was right before they gave him the plow. They gave him they all taught him ASL.
Yes, before America was discovered.
Right, before there even wasn't America.
And let's remember now, by the time we get through all of that, we're at least halfway through the movie. Like, by the time we get through all the and you're going, what century am I in? What's going on?
We're jumping from century to century, and it's all, there's so much exposition. There's so much explaining this and explaining that. It's like there's more explaining than actual
show, don't tell. That is the cardinal rule of making a movie. It is a visual medium. Show me, do not tell me something. And I wholeheartedly agree. Way too much exposition.
Yeah.
So standing in a line and talking about that exposition, but that's about it.
So Icarus helps fight the deviant, and then they're basically it turns into Blues Brothers. We're putting the band back together.
We're on a mission from God, literally.
We're on a mission. They are. They're on a mission from God. They really are. Good one.
I'm gonna start calling this Eternal Blues Brothers or something.
Eternal Blues Brothers.
Blues
there
Brothers.
You go.
There you go. I like the Blues Brothers better than this.
We're on a mission from God.
We all.
Hey. So they go to find Ajax because she's the leader, and she's dead. Oh my goodness.
Was I the only one that immediately, the minute Icarus just looks at the body, is like, a deviant did it, was immediately like, no, you did it, dude. That was shady as crap.
I had no idea.
Immediately thought it was him at that point.
I had no idea.
Because he just like randomly throws out the line. They're all staring at her dead body, and he's just like, he doesn't do anything. He's just like,
Okay.
Deviant did it.
Okay, but no way. I mean, who else is going to kill an Eternal? It ain't some.
What
it
can
ain't,
kill them?
It ain't the dude in the gas station in North Dakota, wherever she's at. I mean, I'm guessing only a deviant could figure out how to kill an Eternal, or at least try to. And they just fought a deviant, so I could see why they could.
So I'm coming at it from the meta knowledge of knowing that this is a superhero movie and stuff, and that Icarus had no real reason to show up randomly in London to fight off a deviant he didn't know existed till he got there, and then just be like, "Oh, the deviant definitely did it." Like that was I was already picking him apart. I was already like,
did they explain why he just showed up, or he just showed up? He just happened to show up.
He drops a line of exposition about, we thought we got all the deviants, but apparently there's one left and we've been tracking, or something like that. He drops a line, but he just randomly shows up, doesn't go to Xerxes first, but doesn't know where this thing is. And then he's just like already fighting it, and they show up and help. Like I was not, and then he's just like, oh yeah, deviant definitely killed her. I haven't examined the body at all, but that's definitely what happened. So yeah, that was, he was sus from jump for me.
Didn't he say something about watching her or watching Sprite, or he was aware of something?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe
he did drop a line about that on Xerxes. No, because Kingo was the one who was looking out for Sprite. Kingo was the one, because Sprite gets pissed at him later, at Kingo later, and is like, "Why did you abandon me?" or whatever. It's a drop line of dialogue, but
yeah.
Again, all these are dropped lines. They're never explored. It's just like, "Oh, I'm mad at you for a reason," and then we move on and we're buds again. Like that, I don't like that.
Yeah.
Not good character development.
Yeah.
So
too much crap. So Cersei explains to Jon Snow that, hey, yeah, we're
just calling him that,
around for a while and blah blah blah. And he says the thing that we've been all thinking. Well, if you've been around all this time and you're super powered and all this stuff, why didn't you do something about Thanos? And the explanation is, we're not supposed to interfere, blah 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 blah. What a bunch of BS.
Yes.
Okay.
Huge amount of BS.
Okay.
Go ahead. You go first.
Big issues. Pam, go first, because I have two big things on this one that aggravate the crap out of me about that explanation.
Go ahead.
Okay. So here's the Avengers. Here we are on this level of Avengers, and here's humanity down here. And they set this up like the Eternals are up here and so much better than everybody else. And they're so amazing. So then it makes even less sense that they wouldn't help with Thanos. It doesn't even. I don't know. I can't articulate. Go ahead, Andrew. It annoyed me much.
So my one thing, my first thing from the movie specifically, they give some exposition about why the Celestials send the Eternals to fight the Deviants. So the population can reach a certain, like a critical mass, so to speak. And the snap that Iron Man does that brings everybody back bumps the Earth's population to basically whatever that magic number is. So logically speaking, if the Celestials have all these planets they're basically harvesting, and Thanos is going to wipe out half of all sentient life in the universe, which is going to set them back billions of years in gestating new Celestials, tell me that's not a reason to get involved.
You're going to let him do that? That's exactly what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. The whole point of human existence is that so we can feed this celestial baby. We're just food for a celestial baby, and the population needs to reach a certain point, and that's the whole point of the Eternals, is to bring us all along so that we could populate enough to feed this celestial baby. So let's have this dude wipe out half of our progress, wipe out half of the life in the universe. Not just planet Earth, every other planet.
Yep.
Doesn't make any sense at all.
Total BS.
So here's
BS.
Here's the real kicker to that. So this is me comic book nerding. Thanos has a deviant gene. Thanos is mostly eternal, but his father was experimenting with deviant DNA. His father and mother are both Eternals. In the comic, he has a deviant gene. That's why he looks the way he does. So there is a loophole built into the lore of that character that you could have had them step
So
in.
even if, and we don't know whether that's, that's comic book world. We don't know if whether that's MCU world, but still, there was an out. But I hear what you're saying. There was an out where you could say, or they could have gotten involved.
It was baked into the story of the character. That's a big thing because you're not supposed to experiment with eternal DNA unless you're a celestial. And the Eternal, I forget that guy's name. It's something with like 3 apostrophes or whatever. And he toys with it, and that's where, spoiler alert, we get his brother who comes up at the end of the movie. We'll talk about that there, who is an Eternal. And the only 2 offshoots the Celestial ever created were Eternals and Deviants. So if he has a deviant gene, that should have been enough. Like you can argue that with me till the cows come home. Like that's now that especially since they're bringing that character in, like that aggravates me even more.
Well, and just a little aside that somebody who's just watching movies like me came up with immediately is, how Independence Day is this? You know what I mean? Like the alien people wanting to take over Earth to suck everything they can out of Earth, destroy Earth, and move on. Like, okay, haven't we used that plot line? And aren't they like huge bad guys? Like, aren't they the villains? Like, there is not one single thing about the Eternals and their existence and their reason for being on Earth. Not one thing that isn't evil. Not one thing.
Oh yeah. So, they literally just to blow up the planet. So
yeah, exactly.
Yep. So we go back to the time of the Aztecs, and we see that the Spaniards are killing all the Aztecs, and they're all just watching. And Druid gets mad and says, "Well, I can control their minds. I could just make them." It's like, no, don't do that. Okay.
That haircut, man. That haircut, like. Who in costuming decided on Drew's haircut, man? I don't know if that's comic accurate. I need to look that up, but that was rough.
Man, the higher power really messed up on that hair choice. Yeah, that was.
He fell asleep on the aesthetic part of that, creating that one.
Yeah. And we learned that Thena can lose her mind, and she has mad weary or whatever. So dumb.
It's an amnesia plot, right? This is what
plot.
you do when you're out of ideas. You give them like some amnesia thing that makes them
a pointless amnesia thing.
Yeah.
Totally pointless.
Oh yeah, 100%. She still shows up in the final fight to fight the big crow deviant that's talking now or whatever. Like she still does all that. We're not going to give her any character development in between those scenes because she has this mind thingy, weary, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Gilgamesh says, "I'll take care of her." Like, okay, whatever.
I like Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh was like my third favorite.
He was cool.
Yeah.
We go to. We see Kingo as a Bollywood actor.
Oh my god, which is so funny. Me too. I
loved Kumail Nanjiani when he was a comedian. I've loved anything he's been in. Big Sick was one of the best movies. Just a great movie. Just
love that movie.
Very, very funny that that it's basically sort of autobiographical, and he plays himself in the movie, but then he finds some other actress to play his wife. I thought that was fine, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. So he's in Bollywood, and he's basically spending his time just becoming another generation of.
That was great. That was so great.
Almost every scene that he was in provided good comic relief. And I liked almost anything he was in. So yeah, he was a high point for me for the movie. What did you guys think of Kingo?
Love him. Yeah. He was so good. So good. And I read up on him after I was done, and he had worked out so much, and I thought that was awesome. Like that he did all this working out and making sure he looked good. And I'm thinking
he got so jacked.
He
was just this scrawny little comedian dude.
I know. I was like, is this the same guy? You know?
Seriously, he was just so muscular.
So
dude.
you know how we have all those actors work out so they can have those big muscular scenes? You know what we're going to do with Kingo? He's going to have a shirt on the entire time. So.
Well, you could see his arms, so
you can see his arms. My favorite part
God.
is where he introduces his valet or his butler or whatever, that guy that's following around with the camera. He's like, "Oh yeah, he's known me for 50 years. He thought I was a vampire when we first met and tried to stake me through the heart." And I was like, "That is amazing," because that is what a normal, rational person would do in that scenario.
Yeah, that was funny. He's awesome. I love that character.
He was really cool. He was really cool.
None.
And didn't somebody say to him like, "Hey, are you Alfred? Like, are you Alfred to his Batman or something?"
Yeah.
And that was another weird thing about this movie is that they reference Batman and they reference Superman.
Mm-hmm. Marvel's never been above poking fun at DC. Yeah. I mean, Deadpool's he does entire bits about poking fun at others.
That's true.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Technically, he's not MCU yet, but.
Yeah.
Love Deadpool.
So they go to Australia and they find out he makes wine from what, urine or something, or spit?
No, he chews up the berries and spits them in.
That whole thing was like,
yeah. It's like, okay, man.
Like, that's gross. Whatever.
Yeah. So Athena is there and Gilgamesh is there. Okay. Whoop-de-doo. At some point, so they're all basically together now. And is this when when they find out
when they still get Druid though.
Oh yeah, they still gotta get Druid. Yeah.
And Fastus.
But Fastus was after Druid.
Yeah. But when they find Ajax, it transfers that orb thing transfers to Cersei, so she's now the one that can speak to Celestials. And
yes, the data dump scene. Yay!
The data.
That's what this scene is.
Is it at this point that she learns what the actual deal is with all this stuff?
It's not even yet, is it? Is it yet that she even learns that? I think there's still something that happens before she even learns it yet.
Well, I think she learns it, but they don't know how to stop it. But they think maybe Druid can like put it to sleep.
Right.
Not kill it, 'cause they don't want to kill it because we're still in the Marvel universe.
So they gotta go get Druid. Okay, so yeah. So the actual thing is they weren't on a planet Olympia. There's no Olympia. They're just robots that just get rebooted every planet they go to. That's why Athena is all messed up, because when she got rebooted, there was a glitch in the programming or some crap. Yeah,
she has memories of her previous life is the line that they drop. Her mind didn't get wiped completely. And actually, they even say the Celestials don't wipe their minds. They store them as data. And that comes back at the end of the movie. That is actually one of the few plot threads that I thought meant nothing that they did pick up. But I'll explain where that came in. Okay,
so here's another problem I have with it. Like I said, not a big Angelina fan.
Anyway. There's plenty to be had.
Well, I know. But you're right. But here's this Eternal who you're supposed to be like, all right, we have to wipe her mind or be done with her completely. But it's okay after all these bazillions of centuries and years and everything that they've had to wipe out every other Eternal when this happens. But okay, we're just going to put Gilgamesh there to babysit her, and that's perfectly okay. Like, how was that okay? That whole thing didn't make any sense. There's no way this major important thing, and they would just be like, oh, okay, we'll just give her a babysitter instead.
It was just a plot device. Stupid.
You just brought up a really good point that I never thought of. They never addressed whether any of them got dusted, do they? Can Eternals not be dusted? They never addressed that.
You mean why they can't die, or what?
You mean the blip?
No,
you mean from the blip? What?
Yeah, the blip is supposed to be half of all sentient life, is the definition that Marvel is pitching. The Eternals are sentient life. Technically, so are Celestials, but they existed before the six singularities, which is the Infinity Stones, which again, another drop line. So did any of the Eternals die during the blip?
No, because they're robots. They're not even real.
They're sentient though.
They're not organic.
At all?
They didn't count. Nope.
Then why? All right.
I mean, it
They're
would be like the
robots.
Terminator and you'd lose their body. No?
But why did Cersei and Icarus hook up? Then that was weird.
Yeah,
How
their,
does that whole
wouldn't their
relationship with
bodies
Jon
could
Snow
die.
work?
Even
I'm asking
robots
you.
got to get it on sometimes, you know.
I guess. I mean, we never got Ultron's gratuitous scene, so. But
yeah, I mean,
sorry, I'm
Yeah.
asking too many deep questions this movie doesn't want to answer. So let's move on.
There's too much to it if you start thinking about all these questions, though. Like,
And
they're
that's the
legit questions.
problem.
so they go to find Druig, and he is in the Amazon, and he has his own little group of people that he could just control or whatever.
They're the ancestors of the Aztecs that he saved in that flashback scene. It's,
Okay.
again, dropped line of dialogue. They do not give you any more than that.
That's it.
Oh, it's
That's
terrible.
it. Yeah. And okay, this is another thing that really ticked me off. So a deviant comes to attack them, and they all fight this thing, except for the warrior, the god of war, the great warrior Athena. So she's watching a deviant attack and kill Gilgamesh, and she just hangs out.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, why didn't you go help your friend, you jerk?
Yeah,
I thought that
know.
was going to push her into being normal again, like normal again. I did. I thought,
Yeah.
oh, okay,
I
she'll
think
snap out of her little weird funk to save Gilgamesh. But no.
No, we're not going to develop this character that much. I'm sorry.
No,
True.
it's not allowed. Not allowed.
I will say Gilgamesh had my favorite move of the entire thing, where he just open hands that deviant, like just completely like, get out of here.
That was good.
That
I
was
liked
great.
his power. That was fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that's
actually,
also-
basically his power was get these hands. That's basically it. It's like, I got a really good right hook. It's
Hulk
cool.
smash.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hulk smash. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him and Kingo were the only ones that did anything in that fight. Thena's out there doing her mind whatever thing.
Yeah.
Gilgamesh is fighting off the main deviant by himself, I will point out. And Kingo's out there trying to rescue the village from the other like mini deviants that we find out it created. And then I don't think Sprite does anything, does she? I don't remember. I don't even remember Sprite in this movie like hardly ever until the final fight. Like she made no impression on me.
So yeah. So let's talk about the deviant. So we learn that when they kill an Eternal, they take their memories and abilities.
Specifically this deviant. They don't ever show any evidence of another deviant doing that. This is why, again, they explained they stopped making deviants and they started making Eternals who did not have the ability to evolve. The deviants kept evolving too far and becoming too powerful, and then they had to stop that. So that's why they created the Eternals. Now, they don't show any of the other deviants absorbing powers or whatever.
And that's why, I mean, the deviants are sentient, organic, whatever, and the Eternals are robots, because that's it. We can't have them evolve.
Maybe androids. Maybe they're like Vision and part alive. I don't know. Whatever. I'm not diving back into that philosophical debate.
Not worth it.
It's not for this movie. It's not.
No.
Then we go to why Fast at Hiroshima, and Fastos says, I did this. It's on my phone. It's like, why? Because you gave him a plow?
No, he said
he went from plow to atomic bomb. Dude, or were you?
He gave him a steam engine.
Give him a steam engine 7,000 years ago. And he's like, hey guys, here's an atomic bomb. Like, oh, thanks, man.
See, I got from that he did help them develop the atomic technology. I got from that. You guys are right. This is all very, very, very vague.
All right. Not that I'm that much of a history buff, but what was the first purpose the whole purpose of creating atomic energy. It's because to kill the Nazis in World War II.
Well,
What
to
did
beat the
you
Nazis
think?
to it,
It's
but-
like, hey guys, and I know this is actually, you know, one of the people that did help develop the atomic bomb was like really mad that it got used to kill millions of people, but still.
Oh, Oppenheimer.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, what you know. What?
The-
Hey, why am I helping you make this giant? Why does it say atomic bomb on the
Okay.
on the blackboard there? What do you mean? What do you mean bomb, guys? I thought we were
So-
doing.
I am a history major, and I actually did study Oppenheimer. So the reason he became so outspoken against it afterwards was he was more interested in the technology. He wanted to see if they could create nuclear fusion, and they did. And when they dropped the first test bomb, he realized what he had just created. There's a famous line where he says, "Thus I become death, destroyer of worlds." Like, and he was outspoken against atomic weapons ever since. Like,
Okay.
and the U.S. military blackballed him for it. So that's actually why. So,
Not gonna lie, I thought that was from Game of Thrones, but anyway.
no,
All
that's
right.
that, he's quoted as saying that after the first test at Los Alamos. Thus I become death, the destroyer of worlds. Something to that effect. I might have missed a word there, but yeah.
Okay.
So.
Interesting.
Cool.
Sorry, history lesson.
No, I love history.
Hey, that sounds way more interesting than anything that happened in this damn movie. But anyway. So
Yeah, make that movie.
they go to
Yeah.
modern times, and Fastos is with his husband and 2 kids, which now we know he wasn't making any kids. And
Well, okay, but I wondered about that. So Cersei at the beginning says that she's not going to, after she had already married Icarus a million years ago, she doesn't want to live with Jon Snow. And I'm sorry, he can't be anything but Jon Snow until we get to the end. And so she implies that they can't have, like, it's almost like a Star Warsy kind of thing. No, the heroes can't have relationships.
No,
Didn't
the
anybody
Jedi
else
code.
get that vibe? Yeah, it was like a Jedi vibe. And then here you find, I mean, I love that Fastos is there with his husband and child, and they have this great life. But like, didn't it seem like there was some kind of rule, or did I just make that up in my head? Like, it just,
that you can't like be in
like,
a
no
relationship or
attachments
something like that.
something. Yeah, I just thought that was because his husband is supposed to be human, right? He wasn't celestial. He wasn't an eternal.
This was a deleted scene. She actually like spent the night with him one time. She saw that Jon Snow leaves a toilet seat up, and she's like, I can't live with this dude.
I'm out of here.
And that's it. I can't live. Like, he's
My bad, missed that.
plus he just had a really messy house, and he's just like, I can't live with this. No, seriously, yeah, I mean, that's
all red flags.
This is just one of the many things where it's like, what? Come on, why are we?
Because you know what, in Star Wars, for example, that's a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
that's a big thing. So it's just one more thing, like we keep talking about, that they throw into this movie that has no meaning really, other than just these couple little line drops here and there. But I mean, they make it a thing for Fastos because he wants to save the world for his husband and son. So, or child, I don't know if it was a boy or girl, I can't remember, or kid. But
This was
like,
actually one of the few MCU movies that actually had a sex scene.
yeah,
I don't think any
I
other
saw that.
MCU movie did.
I
do
read that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
People
It
got
just
all
could
up
have
in
been a
arms
big deal.
about that. People got all up in arms. You're willing to take your kid to a movie where a guy snaps his fingers and commits mass genocide, but a PG-13 sex scene? Nope. Timmy,
Too
gotta
far.
get out of
Too
the theater.
far.
Yeah.
People's standards are just all over the place, man. Like, get on some consistent level, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
so the last one that they find is they go back to Iraq, which was Mesopotamia thousands of years ago. This is where the spaceship is, and who's hanging out of the spaceship, Makari. And basically,
Makari.
she's just been stealing stuff for all this time.
For hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, just stealing stuff. Big Mac. She had a Big Mac. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. What now? If she took the McRib, now that is only here for a limited time only. So that would be impressive.
When we go back and
She
watch
was
it at home,
stockpiling.
I guarantee you, we need to look for a Shamrock Shake. There's probably a Shamrock Shake in there too.
Yes. Yes, that is also available for a limited time only. So Fastos comes up with a thing called the Unimind, so they
Ugh.
could all use the same mind. Blah, blah,
The
blah, blah, blah.
MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin, yes. This is also where we do the Icarus heel turn, where we find out that he actually killed Ajax, and because I guess
You really knew that, Andrew, that he killed her from the beginning.
All right, I didn't know it. Icarus came off as so cold and so emotionless and just did not give me anything to latch onto on that character. When he's just like spouting out lines when it's convenient for him and showing up in London conveniently, like there was too much convenience. It also doesn't help that my mother raised me on murder mysteries, so I'm just like, it's that dude. And he was the only one I
because it did feel like a murder mystery there. Like what actually happened to her? Yeah.
Because why do you kill Selma Hayek off screen in the beginning of the movie if you're paying that actor? You're paying that actor's money. Selma Hayek don't work for no base rate. So why do you do it that way? Other than to have her back in flashback? No, that's unsatisfying. Then there's no stakes for that character because we know she dies. Like, and when she dies, like she ain't gonna die in this scene. She dies in the future. So yeah, I had suspicions that it was Icarus because Icarus was just too much of the good soldier character. Like I had a feeling, I didn't know until they actually showed it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I could definitely see that. But I guess that's what
he was about. He was the good soldier. He knew of the plot a long time ago, and he's like, well, I got to carry this out. And Ajax, changed her mind, I guess, and said, we're not doing this. And it's like, okay.
The whole theme is these Eternals want to protect Earth because they've fallen in love with humans as a species, not necessarily like intimate one-to-one love, like you see in Fastos' case, although that does exist. But he's fallen in with them as a species, their potential, and they want to see them kind of keep on living and grow that potential. They think that potential.
Which I love that.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's actually that's the most. But that is a group character thing. They don't develop that really well individually in any character, I feel like. But they just that's their reasoning.
It was just a throwaway line. It's like, I've seen their capacity for love and blah blah blah.
Yeah. In what context? Show me that context,
right?
Jack. Show me that scene where you watch Gandhi or Mother Teresa save somebody or give somebody food. Like that's a 30-second scene. You throw that in there. I don't mind if this movie is 2 hours, 37 minutes, and 30 seconds. Throw that in there.
She probably followed me on Twitter. She probably saw the capacity for humanity to love from my tweets. That's what I'm thinking.
Must be it. That's it.
Thanks, Joe.
So you're welcome.
You are the most popular Twitter account in Pittsburgh.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. She must have been in Pittsburgh on her way to North Dakota. She stopped over in Pittsburgh and
yes, because those two things are on their way to each other.
So Sprite sides with Icarus, and so does Kingo. But
no,
he goes off by himself.
Yes, this was actually the most logically thought out character motivation. It's not we love humans, we're going to save humans, or I must complete the prime directive, which is Icarus. Kingo's like, I'm not going to fight my family over this. I don't know what's right or wrong. I'm stepping away. I actually really liked that. I didn't like that they all just pick sides and smash together like your action figures when you were a kid. Like, Kingo's legitimately busted up about it. And he's like, I can't fight you guys. You're my family. I'm going to step out of this one. And you don't see him again until the end. I respect the heck out of it. I thought they were going to bring him back in like the last second, and he was going to be the one to take down Icarus, and that was going to be like his big hero moment. I'm glad they didn't do that.
The way you just explained it was way better than the way they explained it in the damn movie.
I agree.
I'm aware because the actor conveyed it well. That is the one thing, despite the sheer lack of content they are given to act with, a lot of these actors can pull me into the character. So Kingo was one of them. Fastos was another one. Really, after Gilgamesh, nobody else.
So it basically becomes a fight, and we see the celestial baby coming up, Tiamat, and so it's basically a fight between all of them against Icarus and Sprite.
Yeah.
And they're fighting, whatever, and Cersei goes on. And then she sees Ajax, which is actually Sprite making a, illusion or whatever. And she stabs Cersei, which doesn't do a damn thing. You just stab someone in the stomach, and it's like, no big deal.
This brings me back to my question I asked earlier. What can kill these things? What can kill an Eternal? Because she just got stabbed, like, looks like a kidney shot to me. I mean, that looked deadly. But she walks it off, like you say. But, like, if a human stabbed an Eternal, does that work? Can I just go up and, like, stab an Eternal and be like, haha, I killed an Eternal and run away? Like, is that enough? They don't define these people's, like, abilities. Like, they all have their little unique thing that they do, but, like, they're immortal, sort of, but they have super strength, sort of, but different degrees. Like, they never define it well. And that's aggravating to me because I want to understand what the stakes are. But
it meant nothing. It meant nothing that she just got stabbed.
But I realized this and it's frustrating.
I mean, I have even been frustrated a little bit with Thor, like the idea of, oh, Thor and Loki are gods, they can't be killed, but then they can be killed. And I mean, and that's even more easily defined. Like, I'm not asking for a big explanation about that, but I have thought about that with Thor. But with this, it made even less sense. I agree.
Yeah.
I was like, what kills them? What?
I'm trying to figure out where the power level sets are here. Because they talk about Thor in Thor 1. He's like, oh, our stuff's not really magic. It's just technology that's so advanced, it looks like magic to you. And we're not really gods, but we live for a really long time, or we are gods, or we aren't. Like, and then the Eternals, do they live forever until they get their mind wiped? And then you got the Celestials, and then Ego says, oh, but Ego says in Guardians 2, when Star-Lord asks him, like, you're a god? He's like, yeah, but lowercase g, implying that there's something even bigger out there. Like,
yeah.
Well, I don't know.
I agree. And then again, it goes back to my very first thing that I don't like about this movie. It's like, here's humanity, here's the Avengers, here's the the Eternals. Okay, and then you got but that's not the case. It's defined but not defined.
Yeah, exactly. They say in the beginning, this is a hard and fast set of rules, and then they proceed to not do that for 2.5 hours.
And then they rip it up. Then they just rip it up. Yeah.
So I want to know when the behind the scenes stuff of this comes out. I want to know how many drafts of the script there were, because there was either one draft of the script that they didn't edit down properly, or there were 17 writers on this, and all of them got to write like 3 pages, and then they just smashed it together, and that was the draft. Like, this feels so disjointed at points.
Okay, here's what I think. You're right. There was a draft. There was actually a movie. They did the movie. When you do movies, especially big ones, I'm sure they have test audiences. They bring it before test audiences to get their feedback. I guarantee you the feedback was exactly the crap that we've been saying for the past hour. The criticisms, what is this about? This has nothing to do with the MCU, too much stuff going on. And I think that's why they threw in that one line. It's like, well, now that Captain Rogers and Iron Man aren't there, who's going to lead the Avengers? I guarantee that's why they threw in that line, just because so we have some reference to that it actually is an MCU movie.
The other throwaway joke they probably threw in to make an Avengers tie, where they're sitting in Phastos' house and Icarus is like, you probably built a perfect fortress. What's this table made out of?
Vibranium. Yeah.
Because you got to name drop Black Panther.
I actually enjoyed that scene because it was a good comic scene and they played it
well.
It
was. But now I laughed at it, so I didn't think about they're throwing that in there to name drop some Avengers stuff. Right. I didn't even connect that, so thank you, Joe. That's not even something. I appreciate that joke slightly less now, so that's not great.
It's just.
And then big CGI lights, and we beat the monster.
We beat the monster. And another thing is, so this happened apparently about the same time that Spider-Man No Way Home is going on. So you mean to tell me large planet-sized earthquakes are going on and it doesn't get referenced in any other thing?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And this big.
Wait, do you mean Spider-Man No Way Home or Far From Home?
I'm sorry, the latest Spider, the last one that happened.
Oh, so not the one that comes out. Wait, what? No.
Yeah, it happened. It happened about the same time.
No.
Yeah. So
it's interesting to see an actual timeline of when that's supposed to have. Like, you're right. This is
the only reason that we know that it happened after the blip was because on one tiny little part when she was in London. There was a little thing that said, we could, all the victims of the blip or whatever, we could help you or something. It's the only reason we know that it was after the blip.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have so much timeline stuff in my head right now. We need to let's progress.
Yeah.
So let's progress. So yeah, so they win. He gets turned into marble, and Icarus flies into the sun. Can we get
so
a little more
I laughed out
cliche?
loud.
I
laughed out loud in the theater
when I saw him going up, into the atmosphere. I was like, if he goes into the sun, my goodness, are you freaking kidding me? Can we get any more cliche?
I laughed out loud in the theater. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, they're not gonna do this. They're not gonna do it. And then I just lost it. And the guy next to me was like, what are you laughing at? I was like, I can't. Yes, that was I don't even know that they wrote that scene. They were just like, let's just CGI that scene in there. It's Icarus. Like,
let's do it. Whatever.
That. People know what that is.
Whatever. Okay, so some of the Eternals go into space, I guess, to find other Eternals.
Yeah,
and,
which why I don't know why they're doing.
Yeah, and but some of the Eternals get brought before what's his face, Arishem, the judge, and says he's going to scan their memories to determine whether humanity is worthy of survival.
Okay.
Blah 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 blah
blah blah blah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I've seen this was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is Q.
It was.
It's exactly the same thing. It's exactly the same thing.
Man, they're cribbing a lot of this stuff. So my biggest issue with that scene isn't that he comes down and is like, I'm going to judge you. It's that a planet-sized being just entered your atmosphere and nothing bad happened to the planet.
Well,
That's
right, and
not how physics work.
And they have that newscast person saying, well, and we're trying to figure out what happened with that big rock that's in the middle
and nobody's losing their shit right now. Sorry. Nope, not buying it.
Okay, it's just a big rock, and who cares?
Yeah.
If a big rock like that appeared in the sky over Earth, I would lose my mind. I would think there was an asteroid about to hit us.
It's very strange. Yeah.
We need to get Steve Buscemi and Aerosmith together and shoot them up into space or something.
So this is the mid-credits scene where they're on the spaceship and Pip shows up and
voiced by Patton Oswalt. Yay, he's back.
Oswalt, really cool. Really cool. And Eros, who's the brother of Thanos.
Okay. Where did these people come from? Okay. I almost texted you still in the theater. I think I texted, did I text you, Joey? Like, what's going to happen here? I almost texted you, Andrew, to say, okay, who the hell is this guy?
Okay, so he's the brother of Thanos, right, in the
who
comic.
got all the good looks in the family, by the way.
Who looks human, unlike
that
Thanos.
deviant gene. That deviant gene that Thanos has is why he looks the way he does, and not like all the other Eternals, like supermodel-y. Anyway, so Star Fox is really going to be a really complicated character to bring into the MCU because his power is basically manipulating the positive chemicals in beings' bodies.
He makes people horny. That's a pretty cool superpower.
Not when you use it without consent.
Okay.
There's an entire storyline in the comics where he does that and goes to court over it. And we're gonna Me Too the heck out of this dude. Yeah, I know. Well, and She-Hulk is the one that tries him, so who knows? Maybe he's popping up in that She-Hulk series we're getting. Hey. I doubt it highly. I don't think Martha was even going to acknowledge the character ever did that in the comics. I think don't know what you're talking about.
There were screams in the theater I was in when people realized it was Harry freaking Styles.
I just looked that up. I
didn't know who that was. I was like,
seriously? Okay.
You're excited for this? I mean, he looks good in the costume and whatnot, but I mean,
Harry Styles in my world, which is the world of as a father of a teenage girl that loved One Direction. Yeah, that was a big deal.
Didn't he do that like pink, like watermelon sugar, pink lens?
Yes, watermelon sugar.
Yeah, okay. I vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
Because I watched the Grammys this year, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they'll change it up in the MCU.
They have to.
So that he's, I mean, yes.
I mean,
yes,
he has
making people
Thanos'
horny is an
strength and
interesting
stuff.
superpower, but still,
Yeah.
Okay.
That scene did very little for me outside of, oh, cool, Thanos' brother. Next.
Yeah,
It's like,
exactly.
okay,
That's how I felt.
cool.
I was like,
Yes.
okay, where's this exciting
It
thing that I
actually-
want to hear about?
It actually made me really sad because it's like, oh crap, are we getting another one of these Eternals movies? Crap.
Yes,
Probably.
yeah.
It's gonna continue.
Although Star Fox does team up with the Guardians of the Galaxy a lot in the comics, so maybe that's their segue.
That would
to
make
Guardians
sense.
3.
That would make sense. So and then the post-credit scene is Jon Snow opening up this thing that has this sword and somebody calling to it, and okay, this sounds cool because this brings out a whole other set of plots and issues and stuff like that. What is that? The
Ebony Blade.
And
Excalibur, because the Black Knight, like,
right.
They're all Marvel characters.
They're all Marvel characters.
Okay, really, seriously, because I'm like, okay, why are we going off into Camelot right now? Like, I was like,
they'll explain it better. If you remember when Aerosmith, whatever that god came down was, and took the other Celestials, Jon Snow's character is about to say something about his complicated family history. And that's where the whole thing with the Black Knight comes from. Basically, the blade is passed down to descendants, and it increases your desire to kill and stuff like that, but it also grants you like super strength and you're a great fighter and stuff. That's basically what it is, which is why we get disembodied voice from off screen.
Which is
Mahershala Ali, our new
as Blade.
Yes.
We've referenced, there have been references to vampires in other MCU things. So it sounds like we're gonna get vampires and we're gonna get Blade.
Yeah.
okay, so that is that Blade. That
is
Blade.
Mahershala Ali. Yes, that is his voice. It is confirmed.
That's good old that used to be played by
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. Yeah. That whole
Well,
thing, that's coming. It's
It's
all
the same character.
It's the
Okay.
same character. It's all coming.
I mean, they're rebooting the character, but yes.
Right.
Like,
It's
this
Okay,
is
but
his
like-
take. Go ahead.
Okay, so like, my son's an actor. He was in Spamalot. He played, and he was in Camelot. He played the Black Knight in Spamalot. Where is that coming into this? Like, my mind went, whoa, off on this tangent. Does that exist in the MCU?
the Black Knight is a thing.
Yes, the Black Knight is
what was-
legitimately a character.
What was that
Is it-
saying? Death is your reward or something like that.
Yeah. So
Something like that.
basically, depending on the interpretation of the Ebony Blade they decide to give, it can either it amplifies your strength, you get stronger, faster, better reflexes, all those good baseline superpowers. He also might get a flying horse like Valkyrie has, which is kind of cool. Anyway, basically, it also just amplifies your most negative emotions. Is the broadest one. There's ones where it's like it's literally thirsty for blood. Like it'll kill the wielder if he doesn't kill.
You're obsessed with killing things, which basically turns you from possibly a superhuman good guy to a superhuman bad guy because you're just all about killing things.
Sort of. Not every interpretation of the blade is you have to kill, or else you die. Sometimes it really just is. It amplifies your worst emotions. So there's like fights where Black Knight, like somebody he loves will get hurt and he'll just get really, really angry, almost like not full like size, like strength hulking outwise, but he'll just go into a blind rage. And people like his allies have to take him down. And so he basically becomes like a Zen master, kind of, but not like, but with like other like ways of dealing with it in the comics. And he basically learns to master the good parts of the blade while tamping down the bad parts. That's why Blade asked him, "Are you sure you're ready for this?" Because clearly he's not. He doesn't really know what he's getting into. The Blade's freaking talking to him.
Is the reason he's doing this because the Celestial dude just took his girlfriend?
Okay, so I really don't know at this point. That's why I've asked so many questions about power levels, because the Ebony Blade is a very strong weapon on Earth.
Right.
fighting human-sized things. That is not a planet killer.
What's it gonna do against the planet-sized thing? That's the thing. Like,
now, see, that's the confusing part, because Marvel could do a heel turn on this. So there's another black blade, so there's another black sword in the MCU that's supposed to pop up in Thor: Love and Thunder called the Necro Sword, that's wielded by Gore. That is a planet killer. Gore literally raises just destroys entire planets with it in the comics. So
let's throw in the dark saber from Star Wars and the Mandalorian while we're at it. Like, what's up with all these dark?
Disney knows exactly where its merchandising rights are right now. They're
like,
just
seriously,
like, yep, get that merch.
Like, yeah. Because that's where my mind's going. We're at Camelot. We're at the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
We're like, what's going on?
yeah.
And
The
you
best
watch
part
this
about
whole
that
big
was- Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, you watch this whole big long movie and you're confused by all this other stuff, and then you get to this end credit scene, and then it's like, wait a
Right,
minute, now where
right.
are we going?
Yeah,
Right.
those two never compete on a celestial level in the comics. Blade is another one of those street level. Yeah, he's fighting vampires and he's like fast and strong, like kind of like Captain America, but with cool swords and stuff. But he's not a planet killer. He's not taking down Galactus when he comes to us.
I don't think he's going to end up doing that. I think the whole thing with, I think he's going to team up with Blade to fight vampires. So now we're bringing the world of vampires into the MCU.
I'm down for it.
Okay, cool.
Now give me Moon Knight too. Moon Knight. I think Moon Knight's supposed to team up with them in some capacity. I would be down for that.
Hey, whatever. Cool. Just keep planets out of it. Just go away, planet-sized crap. Now, I mean, I'd like to know if plans are going to change now, because this is easily the worst reviewed movie, and I'm not sure how they're doing in terms of box office. I did see a very sizable decrease, so I don't know if plans are going to change because of how this movie was received. We'll see.
I think you're absolutely right. I think these characters are gonna become sort of a lesser version of how the Incredible Hulk's been portrayed in the MCU, where they're just gonna pop up in other people's stuff. Like they're gonna pop up in Guardians, or I don't know any other space characters they have right now outside of the Eternals, and I really don't care about them. So if we ever get a Nova Corps movie, maybe they pop up in Nova Corps. Galactus, I don't know. We're supposedly getting a Fantastic Four movie. That's gonna have to pull Galactus in at some point. Maybe they come back for Galactus. He's a Celestial. They can help fight him.
Great. Yeah. We'll see where this all goes.
I was worried about, I've said this before, I was worried about how they were going to bring all the MCU people together in Avengers Endgame, and like Infinity War and Endgame, but that it was perfect. And now the universe has expanded so much more.
It has.
How much more room can there be to explain this well and make it work?
And that's a word that I've thought of with regards to this, is arrogance. They just thought, let's just bring anything from the comics and we'll bring it in and we'll just make a movie out of it and everybody will love it because it says MCU on it.
I mean, they did it with Guardians. Nobody knew who that raccoon was.
But it's still, I don't know. Don't ruin my dreams. I love the MCU.
But I agree with you guys. I think the ambition is not necessarily in bringing in unknown characters. They tried to shoot their shot and be like, this is our next big level bad 3 movies after we just dealt with Thanos. We spent 20 plus movies building up to Thanos and that Infinity. So, and now we're just like, nope, there's this thing that's even bigger than Thanos that you're going to have to fight. Don't introduce that in the first movie.
Right.
Like, Shang-Chi did it right. There was a big CGI bad, whatever. I have my issues with that. We will all recall, but it was grounded. It had good character development. Like,
I love that movie. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it had like what 4 or 5 central characters. Like, that's enough. And some of them were side because Simu was clearly the lead. So this just tried to cram too much in and build this expansive universe. It was MCU arrogance. I think Joe put it perfectly. They're like, we have a formula that has worked. We're going to keep pumping it out with bigger stars and bigger action and a bigger bad. And I don't really think that's what people want. Like their TV shows have been immensely successful, and they've all been less insane. Although WandaVision was pretty crazy, but still more grounded than this crap.
Agreed.
Wanda should talk to Druig about how, like, compare notes on how to control large groups of people, and just
She needs to school him big time. Yeah, just saying. Just saying.
Yeah,
That's
her created her group of controlled people were way cooler than his group of controlled people. That's for sure.
They also had 5 minutes of screen time. Like, that's the problem. There's videos I send you guys sometimes from Screen Rant of like the guy doing the pitch meeting to the version of himself. The one for Eternals, he literally said, the executive guy's like, "Oh, this sounds like it would make a really great Disney Plus series. Now we're gonna cram it all into a 2 hour and 30-minute movie." And at the very end, he goes like, "Well, this sounds like it's gonna be a great Disney Plus series. You mean movie?" I said what I said.
It would have been an interesting, if it was over like 6 hours or 8 hours or something like that. That would have been really interesting to really flesh out these characters, all dozen of them.
Yeah,
make it a 6-part series. Give me 2 characters an episode. Give me some development. Give me some plot over the course of those episodes, and give me a big boss to fight at the end. I would have been over the moon about this. You did not have the time to you're right with the ambition. That whole Icarus metaphor. Like,
have it lead into a movie where they all team up and they fight. They fight a big bad or whatever the heck, or have it lead to something in that movie. Yeah.
Or you know what? I just fixed the ending of this movie, and we take it out of the cosmic realm. When they when they turn to marble or put to sleep or whatever term they were using, the Eternal coming out of the core, it breaks their connection to the Celestials, and they become mortal. They still have some version of their powers, but they can't do like godlike things.
Interesting. That would have been
liked
so
that.
much better. You put them on the same level with characters we've seen, and now they have to deal with the loss of their powers and stuff. I just fixed that movie. Marvel,
there you go.
Where are you?
We are so much,
Andrew, people.
We are so much better than this than they are. Oh God. Guys, I missed you. I'm so glad we got to talk. I'm so happy. I'm so happy I got to finally talk about this, because I've been so angry about this.
Sorry it took me so long to see it, but
no, it's
so many thoughts.
Just
so many thoughts about this movie, man.
Happy.
Yeah,
I was doing rewrites for weeks. And we only have 1 week till Hawkeye, which I'm very excited
for. Really? Already?
That was amazing. Yeah, next
good.
Friday.
I'm actually
talk about again.
I'm actually looking forward to that. And you know my thoughts about Hawkeye, but I think I have very high hopes for this series because
the Eternals did this to you.
The Eternals is so disappointing. You can't disappoint me more.
That's it. At this point, they could have took a bunch of poop and throw it on a screen. I'd be like, yes, it's better than Eternals. Yes.
That one looks like Thor. No.
Yeah. Hey.
Not sorry. I picked a random one. I like Chris Hemsworth. I'm glad he's back, honestly.
All right. Anyway,
take care, guys.
Thanks so much.
All right, guys.
Okay,
Talk
bye.
soon. Bye.